Well, greetings everyone, and welcome once again to another Tuesday evening of the Pugilist Corner, presented to you by the Dog Pound. Ah, as you can see, I'm representing my guy K9 tonight. I'm not sure whether he'll be able to stop in tonight or not, but we'll always represent K9 and K9 Boxing. But tonight we have a special treat. Young man that was my co-host for quite some time. Uh, Back when, if you keep up with our history, this was back when uh, Mr. Ronnie Shields was a part of our Sunday broadcast, the weekend wrap. But we're expecting the professor in tonight, and I'm sure he'll be in soon. Anyway, um, we're going to talk with Mr. Lamont Powell. He's another one of the gentlemen that is associated with Mr. Mark Brad, and we're expecting to hear great things out of him. And we're going to have Israel Mercado back. Uh, uh, um, okay. Had to hit the professor here. It's I'm the only one in California, and everyone else is out on the East Coast, and sometimes we have a little problem here getting uh, the times quite right. But let's get all the commercials out of the way. I am J.E. King 3, better known as West Coast Steeler fan. Uh, Please subscribe and donate. You can see that also down there, our Cash App, J.E. King 3. And we will appreciate all donations. We are independently funded strictly by donations. And for the last decade, we have been trying to bring you the best in our sport. So, I see the professor is in here. Uh, and we're going to get right to it because this is kind of a reunion. We don't get to tap the professor and all his knowledge. What's going on there, Professor?
Not much, JK. Not much, man. Just
I
taking
was
it
just,
at
I was just kind of reminding the fans when you used to be the co-host, and we had on the weekend wrap with Ronnie Shields.
Oh yeah, man. I remember those days. Those the good old days, man. But
Oh
man,
man,
just life got in the way, When you're
hey
raising
man.
three kids, now they're teenagers, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, now see that really goes to show you how, because I believe when we first started back then, at least one of them was in preschool.
Right.
You know, now you talk about the teenagers, all right? Where has the time gone, man? I mean,
Oh, who you telling?
see, oh man, hey, I've been here three-quarters of a century, so to me, time is always moving on. But I'm looking, hey, you still look like that first day that we had you on the show, man. The only thing that's missing is that Pugilist Corner T-shirt. It,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it,
Definitely. Definitely,
awesome.
man. But
So how are
I know
things going,
boxing.
man?
Oh man, I can't complain. It's been good. Um, like I said, the kids has definitely been keeping me busy, and then since we relocated here, we have not yet started our business open yet, but it's in the work. So that's what me and my wife been working on because it's better to
Uh,
work for yourself than somebody else if you can, especially if it's gonna pay the bills and you're gonna be helping your community at the same time.
so how was it integrating into a new community coming down from New York?
For me, it was no problem because I was born and raised here. But for my wife and my kids, it was a different experience. You know, my kids, all they knew was the city life, and just like my wife, you know. So coming here, I mean, it was a move for the good because raising a family is more, community friendly. Like, you got your neighbors look out for one another. Like when you go away on a vacation, you come back, they're like, hey, I grabbed your packages and nobody took your stuff and
Uh,
everything's good with your house. They look out. It's a little different, and especially in the South. But the New York, man, they don't care. It's just you speak, you like, hey, how you doing? They like, hey, do I know you? It's like, no, I'm just speaking.
Hey man, in some ways, I kind of miss that East Coast. I moved out here to California, but originally, like, I'm from that Jersey area, and then back to Ohio, and it was kind of funny out here. Like you say, hey, how you doing? It's like, who's that? What you what you want? What you selling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it is, but even out here, in especially in the bigger cities, you have your inner city, and out here in San Diego, we have our own problems, but uh, this is not the Monday show. This is the boxing show. So, we're not going to talk about all the craziness that's happening over there in Virginia and all the rest, all the rest of them states over there.
Oh, I definitely got to hop on one of the Monday shows because, woo, man.
Well, hey, I know you have a busy schedule, so anytime you have a shot, just let me know, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
yeah. But hey, we've had, and wow, the last time you were on the show, Joshua was a champion. we,
Yes, he was. Yes, he
we,
was. He was a champ.
we were talking about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua.
Well, you
Where,
know what? We might still get that. We might just still get that fight, believe it or not.
yeah, yeah. Now we might we might get it, but uh, so let's talk about a couple of those things. First of all, did you see that Usyk fight?
Yeah, I
Either
saw the
either one.
fight.
Okay. Now,
I yeah.
I didn't think it was a split decision. I think Anthony Joshua got the benefit of the doubt on that one card myself. But 115, 113. I thought that was about what it should have been. I think one judge was 116, 112. You know, and I thought those were kind of in range. But what did you think? Because I had said long before, me and Kenai and I were talking about it. I did not think that Joshua was going to beat Usyk in the rematch. What were your thoughts before that fight?
Going into the fight, it was like I thought he had a chance of, possibly winning the fight, but did I deep down inside believe? I just thought Usyk was just too technical for him. Even though he brought in Garcia, I just don't think it was enough time uh, for him to, acclimate everything. Maybe after a couple of training camps, you know,
Yeah.
and I read something, I think it was earlier today, that he's talking about his next training camp is going to be in California. And, he must going to team back up with Robert and really go all the way in, probably get some of that good Mexican style type of sparring and, you know, rough him up a little bit.
Just make sure you don't have dinner with Canelo, right? you know, but hey man, see, I thought that was kind of a disservice to Robert because I thought he should have, Robert should have been able to have a tune up with him, get a little more familiar with him, rather than him just going into a straight rematch with Usyk. Because as you said, Usyk was technically sound. and that's what cost Joshua the first fight.
I think that the best chance Joshua had at beating Usyk was to take the Marcos Madonna approach. Madonna knew he wasn't going to outbox Floyd, but he said, "I'm going to make it the worst night of your life in this ring. I'm going to hit you everywhere, your thighs, your shoulder, your arms, your elbows." And that's what Canelo's starting to do. He don't care where he hits you. Long as he land, eventually the accumulation, just like Earl keep hitting you. And eventually you're going to break down. So I think that's the approach. And he tried with a little more body punching, but I just think it was certain situations where he definitely should have let his hands go more earlier. I mean, between rounds 1 and 4, he should have been a little more active um, to made it a tougher fight.
Yeah, and those are little nuances that I'm sure that he'll get from Robert if he works with Robert long enough. Uh, but uh, now Fury has said he'll come out of retirement to fight Usyk and unify all the belts. Now, I used to be a Fury. I won't say hater, but I was just, I don't know, over. He just overwhelmed me with his size. I mean, I still can't get over that 36-inch stool that he has to sit on. I mean, so I mean, I don't see even Usyk with his skills, plus the fact that even I believe Joshua came in 22 pounds heavier than he was. What would he do with a Fury that's going to probably be at least 80 pounds heavier than he is? Because Usyk
Um,
is really a light heavyweight. He's not really a heavyweight.
I mean, he was 220 in the Joshua fight. Um, I think it's going to be a tough fight for both fighters, but stylistically, I think it's going to be a matchup nightmare for Fury. Um, if you watch Fury career, he's had problems with fighters in that range between 6'1" to 6'3" to 4.5. The shorter fighters, the US Cunninghams, the Otto Wylings, those type of fighters that can get more closer on the inside and Usyk footwork. Now, Fury has great upper body movement, but he doesn't have the fastest feet. And if you notice, that's what Usyk gave Joshua a lot of problems, where he was able to dip in and pivot, do a lot of pivoting either to his right or his left, and be countering Joshua. So I think that's gonna be a problem for Fury, because you gotta realize Fury has been used to fighting these bigger guys like a Wilder, these big guys where it's a easier target to hit. Usyk is not gonna be an easy target for Fury to hit. So I think it's gonna be a great night in boxing history, especially for the UK. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait. They're saying maybe early 2023 or late this year, more likely 2023, the
3.
beginning. So hey, I'm all for it. I can't wait to get your popcorn ready.
See, and I think a lot of people didn't realize how popular Usyk is. I mean, we talk about the Mexicans and how they always have a country behind them. Usyk is Ukrainian. You got a whole country behind him, especially now. I mean, it could be. He at one time, I believe he had volunteered when the war first started, and they let him. They gave him a special exemption to box because they had all Ukrainians between a certain age were drafted. So he, the the political consciousness is also with Usyk. So it should be a great matchup. But speaking of guys that and we're going to touch on a lot of guys because I don't get you here much, but Mr. Devin Haney, what are your? I mean, once again, going back to some of our old conversations, when you were talking about, yeah, a star, he's going to be the guy of the future, this and that, in his way. And he has been all of that. I mean, what's your thoughts on, you talk about a smooth operator is kind of like what comes to my mind.
Man, Devin Haney is like the Barack Obama of boxing. Like he's so cool, calm, and collect. You could never really get him rattled. He just shows up and performs, and he's a man of his word, and he does things his way. He didn't go out and sign with these big, large promoters. Different. He did it the Devin Haney way. You know, and I applaud him and for him standing up about the Ring Magazine belt. I applaud him for that. You know, they didn't want to put him in the pound for pound rankings. He's undisputed, and here you go throwing Lomachenko in the list, and he don't even got a belt.
Well, such is the dirty game of boxing. It's now if he had played ball, then there's no doubt that he would be within the top five or whatever. At least that's kind of my belief. But uh, who is it? Carbosa that says he wants a rematch.
Yeah, Cambosis, the rematch is coming up
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. But I mean, how many times did he hit Devin the last time? I mean, if he doubles the amount of punches that he hit Devin the last time, what is that, 16, 20?
I
I
mean,
mean,
hey, Devin got to do what he got to do. It's in the contract. And he a man of his word. He said, "Look, I got to go and do this thing twice," and this was before he even beat him. So, he's just going to put on his lunch pail and get to work.
that's like, but I mean, it has anybody actually hit him in double digits since he's been in the fight. Since he's been in the upper tier.
Yeah, I mean, Lenars put some hands on him. JoJo put some hands on him. I mean, I ain't saying they killed him and beat him up, but I mean, they got some shots on him. I mean, Devin gets hit. He might not get hit as much as other fighters, but he get hit.
Oh yeah,
You
but
don't get the stinky leg from nowhere. He done got stung a couple of times.
yeah, and I think that was what finally got me, on the bandwagon because I was concerned about his chin. And like you said, now he has been hit a couple times. He got the stanky leg a couple times, but hey, yeah, he recovered and he's undefeated. What more
And you
can you
got to
say?
think about the weight cut. You got to think about the weight cut. Once he move up, he'll be able to probably absorb those punches a lot better because Devin ain't a small lightweight. He's cutting. He's like Earl. Those guys are big guys, and they cut down.
Man, it amazes me. You know how we introduce, a lot of these young guys, and I'm looking now. You got guys that are 6 foot, 6'2" that are fighting at 140, 147. Yeah, I mean, how does this happen? What are we reverting back to, the Tommy Hearns era, where we're going to get these long guys that are able to, you know, uh, come in at 147, 140, 138. I mean,
Well, you got Fondora at 54. Hey, And that kid, please, he can probably go all the way up to heavyweight, with those long arms and his wide shoulders. He might be slim, but he got some wide shoulders.
Yeah.
That kid can go all the way up to heavyweight, definitely.
And what is he? But he's one of the fighters I'm talking about. He's what, 6'5"?
Yeah, he like 6'5".
Yeah, so, and I mean, it it used to be those were kind of like the short, fast, quick guys. Now that they're getting long and lanky, like I said, it might be a Tommy Hearns era coming in. Uh, Boo Boo, my favorite guy, he's given up his WBO belt, I think it was, and he's moving up to 168. But is that going to get him a shot at either Charlo or Canelo? Because
Well,
I mean, that's the reason why he's moving up. Because I mean, that's the cash cow. That's where the money is.
well,
Eh,
it'll put him in position to fight guys like the Caleb Plants, the Benavidez's, the Canelos. I it's just that he's a high risk, low reward fighter. At the end of the day, he had opportunities to fight Mongia and Triple G. It was no excuse from his side or their side, why he did not unify the title with Triple G when Triple G was there. Woman Mongia was a mandatory. I don't understand why those fights never happened. And Charlo, so now he's moving up to 68, and hey, we'll see what happens.
Now, I meant to bring this up earlier because I don't want to dwell on it too long, but it just seems like it's becoming common where we had these suits by uh, parties that have been, uh, let's say, it's been many, many years ago, you know, past the statute of limitations. But does it seem to you that, when you look at the different lawsuits, we got George Foreman here now, back when some of these women were teenagers, of course, you've had the, infamous Mike Tyson. I mean, and then even in other sports, you talk about football, you talk about baseball. Uh, what do you think about the current climate of this type of uh, behavior in the modern era? I mean, these are things that are throwbacks to my era, back when I was your age or younger. What's your thoughts?
I think a lot of this thing is distractions. When we get all these stories just come out of nowhere, and you got to just look at the time, and I just think it's a bunch of distractions. Like right now, they're battling these Jim Crow laws and different things right now as we speak. Nobody's talking about it. We're talking about all these other headlines, but they're not talking about these women's rights and different things of that. So it's going under the radar. Um, we got elections about to come around, so it's like long as we keep you distracted from the real things that's going on, and we'll keep passing these laws, and y'all not get involved, and we'll just move right along, and it slip right up right under your nose, and then you'll look 2 3 years later, you'll be like, when did this law come into effect? What?
Well,
Yeah, while you was distracted, they was passing it.
I'm confused now because I thought that it was all right for me to vote back since 1968. I just found out that I need a John Lewis Act in order for my vote to be registered. So evidently I was reading the wrong Constitution, or look, like you said, distracted by equal opportunity, or the fact you got to put your grandkids through college, you got to own your own home, like you said, there's a lot of distractions, but uh, last night one of the subjects that we were talking about was, what if it had been a black guy that said, well, we'll have riots in the streets if Obama is not elected, you know, like Lindsey Graham talking about, well, if Donald Trump is indicted, we'll have riots. If a black man had said that, we'd have fires out here in San Diego right now. But like I said, we'll talk about that on a Monday show. Uh, what do you think about Terrence Crawford and Bud? It's finally happened. We've been talking. We talked about that for years. Sooner or later, that it was going to be a clash. Well, here it is. Supposedly, we'll see. But what's your thoughts?
50-50 fight is a 50-50 fight. It all depends on who make adjustments to the adjustments, because it's not going to be one adjustment and then there's going to be a change of the fight. There's going to be one person making an adjustment, then the next one is going to make an adjustment, and then between those two adjustments, who's going to be able to overcome the other adjustment. And just looking at the fight, I think in order for Earl to beat Terrence Crawford, he's just gonna have to mold him down, and it's gonna go either 12 rounds or a late stoppage. Now, in order for Terrence to win, Terrence gonna have to start early. I figured Terrence gonna have to start early, because one thing about Earl, as the fight goes on, it's like more dog come out. He start revving up. So if Terrence can come out early and establish a rhythm, I think he could possibly, and people will be stunned, he could possibly drop Earl. I ain't saying stop him, but he could possibly drop Earl early in the fight, flash knockdown. Because one thing, Terrence Crawford is a sharp shooter. Like, he's very accurate with his punches, and if you see a lot of his knockdowns, they are punches that guys don't really see coming. They're very well timed punches. So that's my thoughts on both sides, and it's 50-50 in my outlook on it.
Oh, okay. All right. I would now. Are you concerned at all about uh, Earl's vision?
No, I'm not concerned with Earl's vision. Um, Earl showed in the Ugas fight he's back. Like, when the going got tough, he bit down and took it to Ugas, made it a dog fight. So I don't think his eyes. I think his eyes are just fine, and it's gonna be no excuses from either side. These guys are both in shape. They're both healthy. They have not sustained no major injuries. I just think, hey, the best man is gonna win.
Uh, Canelo Triple G 3. Your thoughts?
I think Canelo should. I think this fight Canelo possibly could stop Triple G, but I wouldn't be surprised if he messed around and got over anxious because it's personal and get caught. And because Triple G still got power, he might not got the stamina and the wind that he used to, but he still got power. And if Canelo go in there overconfident and like, oh, I'm gonna bully this guy, he could run into something. But I got Canelo winning the fight.
Yeah. Did you think that Canelo was overconfident when he fought Bivol?
Well, he did come to the what? The weigh-in or the press conference in silk pajamas.
Well, I mean, hey, could have done like Oscar. What you want to do? Bring a negligee? I mean, you know,
I don't think he looked past Bivol or underestimated him. I just feel that Bivol was the better fighter, and I've talked about this on the show for years. Nello is not a high-paced fighter. He dictates the pace of the fight, but he got caught in a situation where he couldn't dictate the pace of the fight. He was in there with a more skillful boxer that wouldn't allow Canelo to dictate the pace of the fight. And that showed with his stamina. If you remember, if it was the eighth or ninth round, when Canelo backed up to the ropes and called Bivol in, that was because he was
he was
tired.
tired. Yeah,
That wasn't because he was tough, like, come on in here, I'm gonna knock you out. No, he was tired. He got tired of going back and forth and chasing this guy around. So it's like, hey, let me try to get some gas over here in this corner and try to bait him into a shot.
Bivol was much too, much too experienced. But hey, I thought there was two fighters that I thought that he would never fight, and that was Oscar Benavidez and Bivol. And we knew why he wouldn't fight Benavidez. I was trying to get Scully on tonight. I know it's been a while since you and Scully been on together. I was trying to catch Scully in here tonight too. Uh, you froze up on me there, my man. I wonder what's happening with my boy here. You might have to go out and come back in. I think we froze up on you. Okay. What's going on here, dude? Yeah. Jabran must be having some technical problems. I'm trying to get Mr. Lamont Powell in now. I don't know where he is. Jabran is back. Uh, Let me call Mr. Powell here.
Please leave your message for 4017.
Okay, I see he's back. Okay.
My computer just crashed. Now I'm on my phone. I don't know what just happened. It just turned off. It was fully charged. I don't know.
Oh man. We've been working with some guys down there in your area. Mr. Tayshawn Brown. We've got some other young guys that we've been working with down in that area from Team Certified. Have you been able to, uh, you know, get to any events down there?
No, JK, I haven't been able to get to any events, man. Like,
Well, look, hey man, you're gonna be paying college tuition pretty soon.
oh, don't
So
remind me. Don't remind me. Oh boy.
yeah, so hey, you better get going while the going's good.
Oh, right now, I mean, I'm busy. My daughter, she's in the band, and she's flag girl. My son, he's in what jitsu, and he's playing the guitar. And then my baby girl, she's in the fine arts and crafts, and is always something going on. And then also, there'd be different functions at the church. Sometimes we go and feed the homeless on Sundays, and it's just a lot going on.
So, what city are you in, or
Virginia
close
Beach.
to? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, Virginia Beach. When you think of Virginia Beach, you always think of the resort. You don't really think of the people that live there.
Oh yeah, we got some
Yeah.
Hall of Famers here. Matter of fact, they retired Allen Iverson jersey Friday night, his high school football jersey, because people don't know that Iverson was an
All
outstanding football player.
all state, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
All state in basketball and football, multiple years. Uh,
yes, and the
I
school that
think
my
I think he still got some records there, don't he?
oh yeah, and the school that my daughter goes to right around the corner is Green Run, which the great Plexico Burris played at, and a couple of other NFL players came from there. So yeah, man, I mean, right now, high school football is the thing. Like
Yeah,
we had like 4,000 people at the game Friday night.
yeah, yeah. Virginia high school football is almost well. It's on in the same scale as Texas high school football.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah. You have
yeah,
all the top recruiters
yeah,
always at the game.
yeah, yeah. And now you got Hampton right down the street. It's not too far, right?
Yeah,
Hampton,
yeah. That's 20
Hampton.
minutes away. We got
Yeah,
Hampton. You got ODU, Norfolk
yeah,
State. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
Richmond, VCU. Yeah, we got some schools.
yeah, so you can go catch you a good halftime at any time. HBCU, really known for the halftime. But I believe you also have the some tournaments coming up down there in Virginia, amateur tournaments and some professional, to get ready for the Olympics and whatnot. Uh, have is there a lot of amateur boxing or around Virginia Beach?
There's a couple of boxing gyms. Um, I can tell you since Keyshawn in the Olympics, it's starting to be a little more buzz around here. They had him on the news a couple of times, and they're trying to do more things in the community. So it's starting to pick up a little bit. And we also have the heavyweight. He's a contender. Forrest. Uh, uh,
Yeah, the young for not I want to say Vernon, but it's not Vernon.
Oh
But
man,
it's same
Jerry Forrest, that's his
yeah
name.
same
Jerry
family
Forrest,
tree though, right?
what's that? Yeah,
Same family.
yeah, he's right up the road. Jerry Forrest, he's heavyweight contender. His last fight, I think he fought was it Zilly Zhang, the big guy. It was a draw.
Okay.
Zhang just fought on the card last week versus oh man, Joshua, former sparring partner. Was it Hargrovic? Yeah,
Is there
Hargrovic.
okay? Yeah. Well,
Philip Hargrove.
yeah. Um, Regis is signed up to have another fight, and it's not none of the guys that everybody thought it was going to be, but it's a new. Who is this? It's somebody new that they bid what two over $2 million for the fight,
All
and
right.
Regis.
Who is this opponent?
Uh, hold it. I just had it up here, but Regis, it's not Matchroom, but it's who is it? Andre.
Is it boxer?
No, it begins with a M. Um, Let me throw it up here.
Why you look for that? What's your thoughts on our girl Clarissa Shields playing the Clubber Lang role, ready to go across the pond for Undisputed.
Hey man, we had uh, um, girl Melissa on the show before she had her first fight over there, and we were all talking about how it's actually a shame that she has to go across the pond in order for her to make the type of money that she needs to make or that she should be making over here. But she got a great deal. Who is it? Matchroom that she's fighting with, or that she was signed by 2 or 3 fights. She's going to fight. Uh, she's lined up to fight the only girl that's ever beat her, and I'm looking forward to it, man. You know,
Oh
she
yeah.
does. I think she does a great job marketing herself. And that's to me is what's most important now. Here it is. Uh, let's see. No, maybe that was the last. Okay, August 2022.
But yeah, she's really taking that role of Clubber Lang on.
Well, I mean, she, I mean, she can be very, uh, bullyish, if you want to call it that. When she needs to get, uh, her point across, or she needs to generate that buzz for a next fight. She's been very good about that. So I don't see uh, like you say, she knows how to embrace that, but she also knows how to play, that ladylike card when she needs to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, definitely. And I like the simple fact that she's taking on the real true meaning of world champion. They're not like, oh, I got to fight in my backyard and I'm the A side. You got to come to me. Like she don't care. You ready to fight? Let's sign the contract. Let's get it done. And that's what we need to see more in boxing. That's why I respect Devin Haney so much. He's like, I don't care. I'm packing my bags. I'm a world champion and I'm going to show the world who I am.
yeah, it's I do, and I think that finally, and it might have been due to COVID and the fact that we don't see a lot of the big guys, the the guys fighting guys that we wanted to see. But at least with the women, it does seem like we are starting to get to see the best of the best when it comes to the women boxing. Um, but what do you think? Are we going to have boxing in the Olympics this year, or in the next Olympics? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't know. Uh, will we have boxing? I mean, I would hope so and pray and you know that we would have boxing, but I don't know if you know the whole COVID thing really took a toll on the lower circuits of boxing, the amateur and with a lot of the gyms shutting down and people had to relocate to places like it really affected the amateur uh, program. So even if we do have it, are the U.S. going to be any good?
Well, I mean, hey, you still have the ability for pros to come in. So maybe some of these guys that are 9-0, 10-0, or looking to make a name for themselves. Maybe some of them will go, to represent the U.S. But with the current climate of the boxing organizations, especially in the Olympics, uh, you know, uh, a lot of people are talking about, how things are, more about the politics and about the scandals. They've been talking about for years about, how guys get, you know, medals that don't deserve it, and you know the different scandals. But yeah, I found the article here. It's Marv Nation, and they're posting a 2.4 bid to promote Regis Progress versus Joseph Cepeda.
Oh,
And according to this, let's see, PBC was the other bidder. They bidded $1.2 million. So uh, these guys, Marv Nation, they doubled the bid, and now the fighters will split the 2.4 million evenly.
well, hey, looking forward to the fight. And have you seen the boring Regis fight?
No, never
So,
ever. he,
so
he doesn't even have a boring ring walk. Uh, you know. Uh,
right. So I mean, even if they put them in there with a garbage can, I mean, you're gonna see him see some action. It might not be long, but you're gonna see some action.
yeah. Regis is one of those guys that Uh, it seems like there are certain guys that don't get as much action as they need to keep him, to keep them in the spotlight. Regis is a good example to me. Regis should be fighting at least twice a year. Just when you talk about wanting to put butts in seats and you want to bring fans to the arena, uh, I understand, like you said about COVID and that, but now, I mean, hell, yeah, you go to the airport now. Half the people, that don't have masks. The other people, I mean, the lines are just as long, and you're paying twice as much for the airfare. So, you know, uh, I haven't seen a flight. Let me see. I'm trying to think now. No, I've never been on a flight from here to Vegas that was not full, coming or going. you know. So, uh, you know, what what's your thoughts? You know, do you think that boxing is becoming, is making a, a, a big comeback after, uh, the COVID scare, and and all that, and the different uh, doping scandals that we've had. You know, what, what's your thoughts? Do you think, this will be the year when boxing really starts to make its comeback?
I mean, I think it's already making its comeback. I mean, you seeing these fights being made left and right of a lot of the top-notch fighters. Um, just for example, Bivol coming off a fight with Canelo. Uh, Boom, turn around. Now we got November 5th, him and Zerto fighting over in Abu Dhabi. We just had Joshua in Saudi Arabia last week. So definitely the sport is
And
going.
and don't forget the first women's fight ever in Saudi Arabia,
Oh yeah,
because they don't play that over there.
oh yeah.
But they
So
do they do play money, but they don't
oh
play that.
oh definitely. So I mean we're seeing uh what the undisputed for what was that junior welterweight Katie Taylor Serrano making history in the garden. Like, I mean, boxing is definitely moving in the right direction. Um, and shout out before I forget, shout out to Abdamaris for coming back off that horrific eye injury and actually stepping in the ring and winning the fight.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like you said, I mean, what did you think about the Nanito's fight coming in? I believe.
He got beat
I,
by the better man. He just got beat by the better man. Nito right now, and he said he's not gonna retire. He done backed out the retirement because he said he want to fight Chocolatito. So if they can make that fight, that would be awesome.
oh man, we talked to Nanito, and Nanito would have been, or he is, uh, the oldest champion at that weight class, I believe.
Right. Yep.
Because there wasn't a lot of, I mean, it's a few years, but not a whole lot of years between him and K9.
Right.
You know, I commended him for the fight with how do you pronounce his name? Anu.
Anue.
Yeah, Nue. I mean, I thought he handled himself well, and like you said, I would really like to see that fight with uh, Chocolatito.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
you know, and Chocolatito does. He likes to fight. He's another one. He usually in his prime he gave you a lot of good fights. He was. I
Definitely.
like watching him down here. Uh,
We got the Fat Boys this week. Luis Ortiz and
yeah, yeah,
Andy
yeah.
Ruiz.
Yeah, what do you think? Are you looking forward to a good fight, or are you looking for? Do you think it's going to be a what's what's
I
the
mean,
game where everybody used
I,
to dress up in the fat suits and fight? What was that?
but but no, I mean, I was just joking around. They're both in good shape. I checked both of them out. I think
Are
this
they
is
in good shape now? Because sometimes Ruiz comes in.
nah. Ruiz is in good shape. He's in good shape. Um, I think a lot of questions has to be answered because if you go back and look at both fighters in their last fight, all right, Ruiz fought an aging Chris Arreola, and Arreola put him on the canvas and gave him a hell of a fight. Then King Kong, Martin put him on the canvas too a couple of times. So we can't just look and say, hey, automatically look at the youth and be like, oh, well, Andy's younger. Ortiz still got power, and Ortiz is a southpaw. They can, possibly get Andy some trouble. So I think I would say I would give the edge to Andy maybe 60-40.
Now, who does the winner fight?
Well, first of all, the way I'm hearing things, I wouldn't want the winner to be Luis Ortiz because they're saying the winner of this fight is going to be the winner of the Deontay Wilder Robert Helenius fight. And if Wilder wins and Luis Ortiz wins, we don't want to see a Luis Ortiz Wilder 3.
Hold on here. Let's see. What's going on, Israel?
Hey, what's up, King? I'm here with Christian. You want to just hop on right on the line right at 7?
You can hop on now if you want to.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, we're here.
Are you familiar with Israel Mercado?
Not by the name, maybe by face.
The young kid from out here, and he's 9-1. But he's another one of those fighters. He's been on the ESPN two a couple times. young kid, but he's an up and comer, and he is, as I said, he has a young kid that he spars with that uh, is going to be making his amateur debut. And as always, things haven't changed. We tried to use this as a platform for the young guys to get themselves noticed, and you know, to get used to having interviews before they go on to the big boys and forget about us. But you know, um, but he's one of the kids, that's been I don't know. I know with you have very little time, and I'm not sure if you're a clubhouse guy or not. I don't. I do have some of these guys here. They come from Clubhouse, from Mr. Art Brad, and we were talking. As a matter of fact, we just had uh, uh, Willie Monroe on the show a couple of weeks ago. Willie's a financial advisor now, him and his wife. So boxers are also starting to think more about life after boxing, rather than, everybody can't be Floyd. 5 or 6 cars and, this and that and the other.
Right.
So, that's another good thing. Let's see, where did they go? Oh, but when you start talking about these young boxers today and how they, like Devin Haney, for instance, guys that are really doing it, finding out their own places on social media, finding out that they don't necessarily need, an established management or promotion company. They can use the tools of the modern day to promote themselves. What do you think? In the years that you've been observing, how much the transition has been between uh, social media, marketing, and these young men making their careers. You don't necessarily need a Al Heyman anymore.
Um, Al Heyman. Everybody need Al Heyman now. Oh,
uh,
but yeah, it's a great thing that we there are so many different platforms and avenues that these young guys can be able to market themselves and you know and to take matters in their own hand and also prepare them for, like you said, life after boxing. Instead of when their career over, they're sitting home twirling their thumbs trying to figure out what they're gonna do next. Whereas when they get into the sport, they become pro. In a couple of years, next thing you know, they have some investments and different things of that sort. Someone that I can think of off the top of my head that I really think highly of is someone like Tevin Farmer, who took 4 losses early in his career and persevered and kept fighting and then became a world champion. And then got into real estate and then get into other business ventures outside of the ring, you know. So I really take my hat off to fighters like that.
yeah, and they are actually learning from the mistakes of the old guys and the old, the old guard, which is amazing to me. And hey, hopefully, you know, uh, uh, I kind of spoke about it a little bit earlier, but do you think, when it comes to PEDs in our sport, do you think that they are becoming more or less of a factor? When you look at what's happening in some of the other sports, such as out here in San Diego, Tatis, I mean, he just got, he just, you know, lost his Adidas contract. All kinds of endorsements that he had. And boxing is one of those that you penalize not necessarily for being caught with the substance, but even being caught with a masking agent. So, do you think this is making our sport safer?
I mean, definitely with them cracking down on the drug testing, but it's always going to be some type of loopholes or things of that such. There's always somebody trying to come out with the next best thing. So I mean, you just got to go and pray and hope everyone that enters the ring is able to exit the ring the same way that they entered, with all their faculties, and hope that the best man wins.
Uh, Jake Paul, what do you think, man? We all kind of talked about, when it first started out, it was kind of like, the clown show, and there was a lot of criticism, and I still have a lot of criticism as far as the way things are handled, but when you look at it from the business side, he has been good for boxing. He has contributed to the prosperity of the guys on his undercard. What he do, give away $1 million that one fight to all the guys on his undercard. He has taken over Amanda Serrano's career, uh, at least money wise. He is doing his thing. Uh, Whatever is ever other involved, we don't know. But what do you think about the influence that Jake Paul has had on boxing, as far as getting people paid?
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, ask ask Rockman Jr. Who in the world was talking about Rockman Jr.? Nobody, nobody. But guess what? You done seen his numbers shoot up on all his social media platforms, you
And he
know,
didn't even fight.
and haven't even fought.
Yeah, yeah, you know. So I mean, but like I said, I think we were all skeptical, about the way he made his performance, and like I don't think, at least I never gave him the credit, or thought that he would even advance this far. I thought it was like a flash in the pan thing and would go away. But as I said, as a promoter and as someone that is doing good for the sport of boxing, I think he's good. But you know, uh, do you think that this is something that can be sustained?
Definitely, definitely, because he can actually fight. He can actually fight. I mean, we got to see him in there with a professional fighter, a little more higher opposition. But I mean, far as marketing is great, and some of these promoters need to take a page out of his book, and far as marketing and with these fighters.
Yeah, yeah, I think so, and it also seems that uh, promoted a certain amount of trust within the community, within the boxers, that they don't have in some of these promotional companies. But here's Israel. Israel, how you doing this evening?
Hey, how you doing, James? Everything good?
Yeah.
Everything good. What's going on?
We're, this is my guy Jabran Clemon. Jabran used to be my co-host, and Jabran, aka the Professor.
Okay,
If you want to know anything about boxing, that's the man to contact right there.
I like
Uh,
that.
yeah, the Professor. That that there's a reason why he wears those glasses. Yeah, so
What's up, Professor? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm just loving the sport of boxing right now, the direction that it's going, man. Where we getting these top level fights with the top level fighters, men and women. So
Right.
I'm real excited, man.
So I was hearing you guys talk about the PED situation, man. So I wanted to chime in on that a little bit. I think, well, I mean, at the highest levels, man, I feel like a lot of fighters are doing that. You know what I mean? So to try to even out the playing field, but um, I'm thinking, even if these guys do it in a club level show, what makes you think that they ain't doing it on the highest level? People do that at the lowest caliber of boxing, and these guys are getting more advanced. You know what I mean with it. So it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous, and I think that it should be a different like form of testing or something more like something to regulate that, man, because that's dangerous. That's dangerous. I've been in fights. My last fight, my which was the biggest fight of my career, on the zone, and we didn't get piss tested. So I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I mean? That's weird.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
you're talking post fight.
Post fight, yeah.
Oh wow.
So we didn't before and after we didn't get no test, no nothing, man. It was on Matchroom, and I feel like once you're at that level, man, you got that power and that money. You just they ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna test you. You know what I mean? They're not gonna test you. I mean, obviously everything when you're on a promoter's undercard. It was just new to me, man. It was new to me, and it's like just that power, man. I feel like these guys just have that power to just throw shit under the rug. You know what I mean?
Now leading up to that fight, was that any discussion in the contract or anything leading up to that promotion?
Nah, it was a last minute fight. I took it in like 4 weeks, so it was not a contract, but it was a learning experience, man. Because now it's like it's gonna be kind of hard for me to get in the ring without that being specified on the contract. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Um, Also, too, man, we gotta watch all these fighters just wrapping their hands, check their gloves, all that stuff, man, because motherfuckers are dirty. They're trying to get every little edge out there. You know what I mean? So that's dangerous, man.
Yeah, that I didn't realize that stuff like that was I mean I thought it was standard operating procedure that you had to have a test before and after the fight. Uh, I especially when, like you said, when you're fighting on that level, even if you're on the undercard, you know, if for nothing else, just for the fighter's safety.
Yeah, man. So this was I was kind of like trying to look up the rules because this was in Florida. So I'm like, okay, what's up with the Florida Commission? Is that like something that's specified on there? But every time I fought on lower level club level shows here in my home state of California, we've been tested everywhere. Even when I fought on Top Rank, we got
Yeah.
piss tested. Man, the dude looks over and literally looks at your willy while you're pissing. You know what I mean? And then
Wow.
so I went to Florida, and it was like none of that, bro. I don't know if it's Eddie Hearn, it's just the money thing or what. You know what I mean? The big time promoter, but there was none of that, man. It felt like almost like I was fucking cheated. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? The dude, in the way in the dude I fought, man, he looked dead, drained. And then he came back in the ring looking like puffed up. You know what I mean? You don't know. I don't know what he was on or what the hell. Um, Russian cats. So you know these guys are out there, man. They be doing some type of I don't know what they're doing out there, man. But
Eating tacos.
Yeah.
yeah, man. So that was very that's very interesting, man. And next time I'm gonna take note of that. And it's crazy, man.
Yeah. So was Christian able to come on with you?
Yeah, he's gonna join the chat right now. Here he
Oh,
comes.
okay.
Yeah, so Christian, here he comes.
Now, what I was going to ask you, Israel, is we were talking about the different amateur programs and what's happening out here in California. You seem to be taking some of these young guys under your wing, uh, and given uh, the circumstances, how are you able to help recruit these young guys and keep them on the right path? Like you are, making sure that you eat right, making sure that they do the right thing, making sure that they aren't out there, I know you can't be their mom and dad, but you can at least set an example for them. How did you come to start to want to do that? Where you at in Pomona?
Yeah, we're from Pomona, California.
And like I said, how are you able to motivate these young kids, and keep them on the right path when,
Okay.
out here in California, man, there's all kinds of uh, distractions. You know,
Right. There's
I
all kinds of distractions. As far as the as far as the recruiting these guys, I mean, it's fighting, right? Everybody wants to be a fighter. Everybody wants to be a fighter. Everybody think they could be a boxer. Um,
I always
it,
wanted to be a lover, man. I never wanted to be a fighter.
right. But
you
it's
know,
it's more so like when you see those big fights and they're like, okay, you know what? I think I can do it too. Or I want to do it right. So Christian, he's great dude, man. He's from out here, from my hometown. Um, we started just training, just slowly training, and he got a liking to it, and he has a talent for it. And this kid specifically, man, he's a semi-professional soccer player, so he knows what it's like to be in high competition. Of course, his soccer and boxing is a big difference, but he has that passion, and he
but
knows
that
how.
footwork, though, man.
Of
Hey, that
course,
that footwork.
yeah. So I mean, and it's like my thing is okay. If you want to be a fighter, come out, come and run with me, come and train with me, come and be in the gym with me. So it was kind of interesting to get this guy in here and just like his progress, and has just been it's been good. You know, what I mean, it's been good, and it's hard to recruit a lot of guys right now, especially when I'm still fighting. So I just want to stick to a few guys, man, like my twin nephews, uh, David Dominguez and Andrew Dominguez. I got Christian Flores, guys that take advice. You know what I mean? There's some guys that they don't they'll be like, what? How do I do this? How do you do that? Okay, but you ain't doing it. You know what I mean? No, you gotta go out there and stay true to it, and work hard, and just day by day, just learn. And I feel like this guy is on a fast track. You know what I mean? He's about to make his pro debut. Because he's in there with the gym with me, sparring and everything. He's gotten up to the level to where he's able to watch stuff that I do, stuff that other fighters do, like just like the viewpoints and stuff. He was there when I sparred Ryan Garcia, so he's been around. He's been around the gym. He's been around the gym, and he's moving along quick. So it's not really hard to get him to kind of follow suit and to like follow that direction and becoming a fighter. Because he wants it. You know what I mean? He wants it. He's 23 years old. He's thinking about getting well, we're thinking about getting him a good amount of amateur fights, maybe I don't know, 20, 25, 30, something like that, and moving him into the pro ranks, man. And I feel also that he will be uh in a great position because earlier in my career, I've suffered a lot, man. You know what I mean? I suffered a lot, not getting fights, not having the knowledge as far as the boxing game. I didn't have the right management. Um, so I think I'm gonna be able to bring him up in the right way to where he's getting the experience and the exposure and the fights that he needs in order to get to the next level.
uh, Pleased to meet you there, Christian. How you been?
I'm doing great. Pleasure to meet you too.
The one thing that I never can understand is how guys are attracted to the boxing game by the amount of work involved,
Oh yeah,
and then not just the amount of work, but having to fight every day. I mean, and you're not doing you're doing it for fun.
correct.
I mean, you come from, I'm not saying that, soccer guys are soft or nothing like that, necessarily, but, you how many soccer guys that got 5 or 10 knockouts? I mean, so and to make that transition, I mean, the footwork, the physicality, and now all that, yeah, that part's easy. But when there's a guy that's steady throwing punches at you, at your face, at your body, I mean, how do you get used to that?
Um, to be, I mean, so yeah, soccer and boxing are two completely different sports. In soccer, yeah, you're not getting hit in the face. It's mostly getting slide on, getting kicked. Otherwise, with boxing, you're getting punched in the face, you're getting hit in the ribs, you're getting all sorts of stuff. And then to get the feel of it, it's most likely just training, sparring, being in the gym, being around the boxing game, just getting the feel of it.
Well, I mean, there are certain aspects. I can understand you being, attracted to. I mean, you got a certain amount of young women that are attracted, and the possibility of the money, and you see the guys with the cars and that, trying to get on the fast track.
Yeah,
So I can see that there are, some advantages, and it's a lot different, and when you're right there in the boxing ring and people are all around you, than when you're on the pitch and people are yards away from you, like
yeah,
like playing football. You hear the cheers of the crowd, but when you're boxing, you can practically look right over there and see what they're doing. And who's booing you and who's not. You know.
yeah.
So I mean, even the audience and the interaction is different. So
Oh
you know,
yeah.
so how did you find making that transition? Was it because of the closeness, uh, you know, uh, or just because the physicality of the game?
The physicality of the game, and I'm just in my soccer career, I've always in a high level soccer, so I've been around a lot of professional soccer players and just being around the environment. So in the beginning, yeah, wasn't really so ready for that, but then within time, it just started building up. I was able to just adapt to it. You would say.
Yeah. My my friend, her daughter is married to a ex Brazilian professional soccer player, and they live up in L.A. And so I've kind of seen that. Like I say, I played football myself, and but boxing is a very special and demanding sport. Now, when are you planning on making your amateur debut? You're muted. I
Oh,
can't hear. Okay, there you go.
I'm sorry about that. So so right now I'm working on getting my first amateur debut within the first like 3 to 4 months from now.
Okay, now, so do you feel that you have an advantage, working with Israel and some of the other guys? I mean, I know, in the amateurs, I do this show with K9, so I know he has his son in there, in the amateur ranks. So there's a lot of competition
Oh yeah.
in the amateurs. And dude, maybe somebody hasn't pointed it out to you, but you're in the state of California. This is almost as big a state for amateur boxing as New York, Nevada. I mean, you got guys out here, even though you're a novice, you got guys that have been training since they were, some of them as early as the age of 8 years old. So, I mean, what what do you bring to the game that's going to offset some of that?
Can you say that one more time? The last question.
Yeah, I would say, what do you think that you bring to the game that's going to be able to offset, since you had such a late start in boxing? I mean, this wasn't your quote unquote chosen profession, since you were, you know,
So in that part, I do understand coming late into the boxing game, but me personally, when I want something, I'm gonna want it, and I'm gonna go all for it. And I'm a very fast learner, and I'm very competitive, very person. So, and knowing boxing is a very competitive sport, and there's a lot of different levels to it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to, just work my way up.
now, what weight class are you right now? or
Uh,
or
Well,
How much do you weigh right now walking around?
I'm 157.
Okay.
I want to be able to fight at 148, 147. So right now I'm
Okay.
cutting down.
Now, do you feel, usually, when a guy that's in the boxing profession cuts down, goes down that much in weight, it's because of his speed, or because he feels that he'd be, you know, much more effective at that weight class. So, how do you feel, that losing that 10 pounds of fighting at 147, is that because of your style of fighting, or because you know that at some time you're going to be putting on more weight? So that's where you want to start.
So with that question, me personally, I at 147, I know I'm fast, and within time, I want to be able to build up and go to a higher weight class, and that's where I want to start off at 147. And just last year, I was at 145. So I know I'm able to drop down that much weight to be able to fight.
Well, but then, I'm looking at that 147 weight class.
Oh
I mean, you got a bunch of gangsters up there, man.
yeah,
I mean, you, it ain't like you started out in kindergarten.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
so I mean, so like I said, I know you wanted to, you're thinking about a challenge, but hey, you know, between 147 and 168, you talk about guys that got their man strength there, man. And uh, uh, to put it bluntly, there ain't no bullshit up there, man. you know, uh, uh, what kind of chin you think you got, man? Because at 147, it's gonna get tested.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure. Yeah. But if I could drop a little bit more, then where I'm more comfortable at, then I'll see where it goes.
how
I want to be where I'm most comfortable at, and then just work my way up from there.
how tall are you?
I am 5'10" and a half.
Okay, I'm 5'10", so you know I got about 20 years of fat here, so we're not gonna talk about my weight. But at 5'10", uh, keeping on 147. How old are you?
I'm 23. I will
20,
I will be
23.
24 in October this year.
Okay, so you're right around that man strength. You're starting to get your man strength. So how many? How long before we see you make that uh, pro debut?
So I want to be able to get at least solid 20 to 30 amateur fights before my pro debut.
And and you want to make your pro debut at 147.
Correct.
Okay, and so what do we talk about here? 2023, June 2023.
Striving for it. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So when you have your first fight, we want to talk to you after that, of course. Uh, you know, uh, See how you feel about your first pro fight. Uh, I want to ask you, since you're training with Israel, uh, do you train with or without headgear?
Well, we're sparring. I wear headgear, but with training, no headgear. We're hitting mitts. Hitting the bag, no headgear.
So how does that, and one of the things that I'm trying to, my concern here is vision. Soccer player, your vision is unimpeded. So when the first time you put on, that helmet, how was it getting used to that restricted field of vision, man? I mean,
Oh yeah,
as a football player, I mean, even with a helmet, I mean, without a helmet, you're like here, with the helmet, you're about here,
yeah.
you know. So I could imagine in the ring, you're about here, man. I
Oh,
mean, you know,
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, the first time I sparred, it was a little tough. I wasn't used to it. But within time, I was able to adapt to it. And you know, I'm not, just having the mouth gear. It was all new to me. It was all new to me. But getting a few sparring sessions. Sparring Israel. I'm his main sparring partner. So within time, I was able to adapt to it and be able to get the more feel of it, of having the headgear, then the mouth guard and stuff.
what about the difference in training?
Oh,
We're working the different muscle groups.
it's the training with boxing. It's a whole different. Yeah. It's I love it. I love it. It's a lot of conditioning, a lot of cardio. You would say, it's just constant going back to back. Just other with soccer. Yeah, you will do cardio, but we'll take like a little break. Within but with boxing, just straightforward, nonstop. And
Now, there's another big difference too. When you're playing soccer, you're running constantly, and if you decide after the game you want to go and have a couple extra tacos, or maybe that bowl of menudo, or you know you, you know the things that you can't do now that you're trying to keep your weight down, man.
oh, I know. I know it's gonna be a little tough, but I mean it's all discipline at that point. It's all about discipline and how bad you want it.
Yeah. So do you live at home, or do you have?
I live at home, correct?
Oh, see now, come on, man. Mama's cooking. You can't tell
Yeah,
me. Come on now. Hey, come on. On the weekend, on them days, we go. Hey, man. I live here in California too, man. I mean, hey, if there's a food truck up the street with some good, with some good tacos, the fish tacos on Friday, man. You know what I'm talking? Yeah, come on. What was it, two for $1? I mean, come on, man.
yeah, that's true. I mean, there is times, it could be tough, but I really want this, so I'm very disciplined with it. As much as like, yeah, the food might smell very good, and I know I'm not allowed to eat it. I kind of substitute it. I would substitute it with like a protein shake or with some fruit, and stuff like that. So I'm not be able to eat as much.
Yeah.
But I'll substitute it with like other type, like just protein shakes mostly, or like some fruit. And stuff.
Yeah, I'm a retired chef, so the hardest thing for me was when I got dentures and I couldn't taste things again. But you can still smell, man. And like hey, like I said, every time that you smell that fresh food, man, and it's like Connor Saga, and I mean, hey,
Yeah,
but
I know.
come on,
It,
I know, yeah. See, I'm gonna make you run straight to the truck when you get on. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of like that, and after the game, I'll be like, I want to go get something to eat, something. It's true. I mean, but just with boxing, knowing like there's a lot to it. Having being able to count the calories you're eating, the amount of protein, and then how much your calories you're losing per day, how much you're supposed to eat at a time. I mean, I'm getting used to it. I'm adapting to it little by little within time.
Well, hey, man, we hope to follow you along your career. I'm not sure. Israel, are you still there?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm right here, man. I'm ready
Oh,
to
okay.
thinking about those tacos too, man.
Hey, man, I hear you. But hey, first, Christian, why don't you give us your final thoughts? Let people know if you got any social media. And hey, man, we hope to have you back on the show. Hey, we just have fun, man, and hang out and talk, man. You know, hey, no formalities here, man. We treat everybody like we're all brothers here,
yeah. So I have an Instagram. It's HVAC Flores _909. I do HVAC as well, so it's HVAC Flores. I'm an
man.
HVAC
Okay,
technician. Um, so yeah, HVAC Flores _909.
okay, all right. So when I got problems with my air conditioning, I can give you a call.
Give me a call.
You make house calls, man.
Cost everything. I'll install your new unit.
All right, man. Hey, but you got to sign it, so that when you're champ, I can say, hey, man, look, he did that when he was an amateur, you know.
Yeah.
So you got to sign your work, man. You got- uh, hey, you have a great night, man, and
Thank you very much, James. You have a great super night too.
yeah, hey, while nobody's looking, man, go grab you a couple of them tacos, man. I won't tell nobody. All right, man. You have a good night.
You too. Appreciate it. Talk to you.
All right,
All
all
right.
right. Israel, what's up, my man?
What's up, man?
Oh man,
That was
like
a
I
good
said,
interview, man. That was fun.
hey man, like I said, anytime you come on here, I just, I try to make it fun. I try to make it, all about the guys that I'm interviewing, man. It's not about me. It's about the game,
Oh yeah,
So,
man.
so,
Of
hey,
course.
I hope to meet some of these other young guys that, you're working with, man. Glad to see you. You're giving back to your community, man, and we're still looking forward to that big announcement when you had that big
Oh yeah,
signing.
man. Yeah, man. It's coming. It's coming. We just wait on that, man. But expect to see this guy, man. Maybe one of those novice tournaments. Maybe the novice Golden Gloves. I think that'll be a good one for him, or something else. I want to get him a novice tournament, like I said, like a Golden Glove. That'll be good, man, for him to get that experience. I mean, they don't advance all the way to nationals, but that's still a great experience, man. Go out there and fight the district, which is down here in SoCal. And then he can fight the dudes up north, whoever fought up there, and then
Hey, like I
and
said,
get that
man,
title.
like I said, I mean, he's in California. He got a lot of opportunities to get work anywhere he wants.
Oh
Be it
yeah, man.
be it up north, down here, uh, around where you're like Central California, right?
You know what I mean? This guy has a lot of power. He has a lot of power, but like you said, the foot movement, the speed, I think is gonna go hand in hand for him at the amateur level. So he already kind of knows how to, like, you know what I mean, get off some shots, move, you know what I mean, defense, kind of score some points and move around the ring. He can do that very well, and I feel like with my experience also as an amateur, a top amateur fighter, that he's under the right the path. You know what I mean? He's on the right path to getting that national title. You know what I mean? So we want to get him that state title, under 10 fights. After that, we're going straight to nationals, baby. You know what I mean? We're not gonna mess around. So it's on, man. It's on. But I appreciate you having us on the show, man. And after this guy makes his debut, we'll hop back on and chop it up some more, man.
Yeah, and you say you got a couple other guys, your
I got a
cousins or
couple other
something,
guys, my nephews. Yeah, my
your
two nephews.
nephews. Okay,
Right. And then I want this. I train because I do personal training too, like fitness.
okay.
So I'm training this girl, man, and dude, she's a beast. She's Irish, but I want to get her on the debut, but I don't know how she feels about it. You know what I mean? I don't know how she feels about it. You know what I mean? It's up to her. You know what I mean? It's up to her. Kind of like get her situated in the ring a little bit more, and yeah, man. And I'm not really a big fan of women's boxing, but this girl can crack, and she's
Hey,
aggressive. So you know what I mean? So to catch my eye like that, you have to be something special. So um, yeah, man. So I can't wait.
yeah, well, hey, man, anytime you want to get your nephews on, you got a fight upcoming, just let me know, man. And hey, you got some support down here in Southern Cal, man.
100%, man. When we down there in San Diego, man, we'll come and chop it up, man. That HVAC guy right here, he'll give the signature right there. You know what I mean? He'll leave you an autographed glove.
Hey, man, there you go. There
All right,
you go.
brother.
So hey, have a great night, man. And like I said, give guys your social media before you get out of here, man.
Yeah, man. So Israel Mercado on Facebook. I got TikTok, Real Bad Ways on Instagram, um, Twitter, same thing. And we on, baby. I'm gonna make my YouTube too, man. I gotta start putting my highlights up there, man. I
Yeah,
seen I
man.
seen what these dudes try to do to me, man. They try to chop up fights and put their own highlights. Like, hey, man, what's up with that? I gotta go out there and put my own media shit out there, man. They be trying to be sneaky out there.
Hey, man. When you need a publicist, man, give me a call.
Okay, for sure, I will do that.
All right, bro. You have a
All right,
great night. I'll talk to you, man. And
yeah.
hey, I look forward to having Christian back on too. So you guys have a great night up there
You have a great night, brother.
in Cali, man. You too. Talk to you
All right,
later.
brother.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm going to grab me some tacos right now.
Oh man, hey, I think I might have to stop by the stop real quick, man, before camp starts. All right, man.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, have
Talk
a
to
good
you
night,
later.
brother.
Yeah.
Peace.
Oh man. Well, hey, it was great talking with the professor. I hope we can get him back on at his convenience. Like I said, I know he has a lot of things going on down there in Virginia. We were looking to get Mr. Lamont Powell on the show. Maybe we can get him on a little bit later. But uh, it was good talking, like I said, to Mr. Israel, his young protege Christian, as well as the professor. So have a great night, everyone. We'll catch you next Tuesday on our next episode of the Pugilist Corner, brought to you by the Dog Pound. Have a great night. See you next week.